Former President Jacob Zuma expected to formally plead not guilty to fraud and corruption charges, and that's when his trial resumes in the Pietermaritzburg High Court.
Yeah, the former president will also seek to have lead prosecutor, that's advocate Billy Downer, recused from the trial, which has taken years to get underway. Zuma is claiming that Downer lacks prosecutorial independence and impartiality in that matter and has been part of political interference. Let's take you live now to our team in KZN. Pietermaritzburg and Bonga, along with our reporters on the ground, Ziyanda, Ngcobo and Bonga Dlulane, are all there for us this morning. Pietermaritzburg, you're back in Pietermaritzburg, and once again, it's not for the start of the corruption trial itself.
Well, Michelle, indeed, you're quite right. There is anticipation that the application for Billy Downer's recusal by the former president, Jacob Zuma, that may possibly take the day in terms of court proceedings. As to how long the proceedings inside court may go on for, that we do not know yet. There are some who are already anticipating a delay somewhat, but those pronouncements will have to come from inside court as soon as the court proceedings get underway. Talking about the issue of court proceedings, the one person that we understand has already entered the court precinct is the former president Jacob Zuma. Let's take you now to our reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo, who is stationed at the very entrance where the former president usually uses to enter the court. Ziyanda Ngcobo, if you can hear me, confirm if indeed the former president has made his way inside the court.
Well, Toli, I can tell you that where I'm standing, it is by the entrance of the court, but last week we saw the former president using the back entrance of this Pietermaritzburg High Court. But perhaps Carl Niehaus would be able to tell us whether or not former President Jacob Zuma has indeed arrived.
I'm not sure. I'm sure that President Zuma is likely to arrive any moment now.
Well, let's just jump straight into it. I mean, we see that the stage is set this morning, Carl, and it's significantly bigger than the one that we saw last week. And one has to ask, where are you getting the money to pay for all of this? And more importantly, are you expecting big crowds given the fact that there are still those COVID-19 regulations in place?
The supporters of President Zuma dipped into their pockets to support him. We've done that for the last 22 years, and we will continue to do so. I think we're going to see a significantly larger crowd than last time, but obviously we are trying to comply with the COVID-19 regulations, and that puts a limit to the numbers that will come, and that is also how we try to plan that. But at the same time, what you see today, as you've seen over the last 22 years, and it's in fact now 22 years, there is an overwhelming support and continuing support for President Zuma, and an outrage by many of us against what we consider to be a politically motivated and politically manipulated case. One only has to read the documents that President Zuma has filed for advocate Billy Downer to recuse himself to understand the significance and the extent of the political manipulation that had taken place in this case over the last 22 years.
Mr. Niehaus, one would think then, with all the political manipulation, as you describe it, and interference, that you'd want to actually have this matter go ahead. However, with this application to have lead prosecutor Billy Downer recuse himself, that's also going to delay this matter further. And you've said it, the former president has said it, that justice delayed is justice denied. Why not just actually plead or actually outline all these issues when evidence during the trial needs to be presented?
Well, it's very clear that advocate Billy Downer is not competent to lead the prosecution in this case because of the political manipulation. And it's not something that I am saying. These are facts that you can go back into the history of the last 22 years. The manipulation of the dates when it was decided to charge President Zuma, at the time when he was in the ascendancy to become the president of the African National Congress, with the intention to damage his possibilities of becoming president, the continuing manipulation that is going on. So President Zuma has got his legal rights, and those legal rights he's got the right to exhaust to the fullest. That does not mean that he wants to delay this trial, but at the same time, many of us have said the chances of President Zuma getting a free and fair trial under the circumstances that I've just sketched for you, and also the overall negative media avalanche that there had been against him, which also influences the judiciary, because we must remember, our judges are not living in glass cages. They are not above, they're not in an ivory tower. They're in this community. They experience exactly the same kind of manipulation and media reporting that we experience. And that influences also the manner in which they will deal with this case. There are eminent legal minds that have said that under the circumstances, they do not believe that President Zuma has got the slightest chance to get a free and fair trial.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nihas. I am out of time. I wanted to actually ask you why then the former president wouldn't have raised the issue of belly downers' incompetence, as former President Jacob Zuma has described. But of course, we are out of time from my side, Xoli. I understand that you have more lined up where you are.
Thank you very much, Ziyanda Ngcobo, keeping a watchful eye around the court precinct here. Before we bring it back into studio here with my co-anchor, Bonga, let's touch base with Bonga Dlulane, our reporter who is monitoring developments around the stage area. Bonga, what are you seeing from your side?
Good morning, Xoli. Yes, it's getting busy here outside the stage. As you can hear, the music is blustering too. We're competing with it too so that people can hear us clearly. But I want to bring in now a man I ended last night with when he had a conversation with him, Edward Zuma. He is here today. He told me that he was deployed by the family to come and make sure that they support the former president. Mr. Zuma, thank you for joining me once again. It's D-Day for the president. How are you feeling? How is he feeling when it's coming to court today?
Morning. President Zuma is in good spirits, and we're feeling very confident that we will outline our case, and hopefully with an impartial judiciary they will hear our case, because we really have a case to put forward.
There are a number of supporters coming through right now. We know that Isma Khashul last time said a lot of people must come, but we are still on COVID-19. Are you expecting a large number of people to come out and support your father?
Well, look, in accordance with the COVID protocols, which we respect as citizens of the country, but you can never stop people from, coming by. There are many passerbys that are obviously, onlookers, and you could never stop them. But in regards to the event organizers, they are within the protocols of COVID-19.
Zuma, just finally, the last time the president was here, he addressed the crowd, he energized them, trademarked song Mshini Wam, he sang it too. Are we expecting some of the same thing today? He might come and address his supporters?
Well, we would definitely have to expect that, when people come to support you, you would have to thank them. So it will be humane and honorable for him to come and address the people that will be here.
Thank you very much. That's Edward Zuma, the son of former President Jacob Zuma, here with me outside next to the stage where supporters are expected to gather. There's an extensive program too for that, people coming through, ensuring that they come and support. So we'll be bringing you whatever happens throughout the day, because it started from 6 a.m. It's going to last until the former president, if he does today, come and addresses them. But according to his son Edward, which I spoke to, when someone comes to support you, what the respectful thing to do is come and thank them. So we'll be bringing you that when it does happen. Xoli?